Now, Xolani, that public wage bill is still an issue for Godongwana. Of course, the unions in the public sector are also challenging the minister and government over the issue of wage increases. How do you think he's going to play it? Because investors will want to know he's keeping a tight line in terms of our fiscal policies.
That is another big one, Muteo, when it comes to how Godongwana is going to navigate the latest round of unions simply refusing to sign on the dotted line. Remember, in October last year in the MTBPS, government unilaterally decided to impose a 3% wage increase, and this is not something that is new. This is an old disagreement between government and the labor in the public service. It dates back to the times of Minister Tito Mboweni in 2020, when he basically refused to impose or implement an agreement, a wage agreement, multi-year wage agreement that had been decided upon years prior. And this has seen the labor sector actually making sure that they are not stepping back when it comes to their demands of more than 3% wage increment. We expect action tomorrow from the likes of COSATU, SAFTU, and many other unions in the civil service to actually make sure that they throw down the gauntlet on the minister and the government to say they are not going to allow the unilateral implementation of that 3% wage increment. And of course, if there is something more than 3%, then where is the money going to come from? That's going to be the big question from the market that everybody will want to hear from the minister.
But there's still that key issue, Xolani, of fiscal slippage, government spending more than it has. So that government debt amid limited resources will also be watched by almost everyone.
That is absolutely true. You will remember that our government debt to GDP was sitting in the lows, in the mid-teens in 2008 before the global financial crisis. And since then, we've had many crises that have taken place, including the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the Ukraine-Russia war. And that has taken up our debt to GDP ratio above 50%, and anything to indicate from the minister that there is something that is being done about lowering that will be good to look at, and it will be good, seen as good by the market as well. So there are a number of things that are impacting on the debt trajectory of the country, with these many needs and many wants that are out there, including the basic income grant being one of them, something that is being looked at. Many are saying that the basic income grant, if it is imposed, is going to make the public purse a lot heavier, while others are saying with the high cost of living currently, many poor households need that financial support. So it's a tight balancing act for him, with a look at how the debt trajectory for the country is going to look for the next 3 years, being high in the agenda for those who will be watching.
Well, Xolani, a lot of interested parties across the country, but one thing I can say is that Godongwana cannot please everyone tomorrow, especially it's already showing on the markets. We're seeing the rand at 18.31 at 1 point, weaker against the US dollar. So already some movements ahead of that speech at around 2 p.m. tomorrow. Of course, you'll bring us more in-depth coverage for that tomorrow.